Known as the Island of Gods, Bali is one of the most popular travel destinations for tourists, not just in Southeast Asia but around the world. Last year, the island welcomed over 16 million visitors, and the vast majority of them arrived at Bali's main gateway located in the southern part of the island, Denpasar's inaugural international airport. However, the island's main airport faces a similar problem seen in other older airports in the region: the lack of room for expansion. So, to address the needs of Bali's airport and economy, there is a proposal for a shift of development to the northern side of the island, which will include a new airport, the North Bali International Airport. While looking towards the north of Bali, the southern part of the island is home to the attractions and much of the tourism infrastructure. The northern side is not often traveled to by visitors, but one company, BIBU Panji Sakti, or BIBU for short, is looking to change that by leading the project to develop the area, with the centerpiece of the northern development that will be the North Bali International Airport. According to multiple reports, the proposed North Bali Airport will be located along the northern coast of the island in Buleleng Regency. At present, the exact location has not been finalized. Despite being both underdeveloped compared to and isolated from Denpasar and the island's other tourist attractions, the area happens to be the biggest regency of Bali Island both in terms of population and area. With a projected cost of around 50 trillion Indonesian rupiah, planned North Bali Airport will cover an area of around 500 hectares along Bali's northern coastline. So far, artist depictions published in news reports show different versions of the passenger terminal, but plans are for the airport to have two runways, one which will be 3,600 meter long for large aircraft and the other 1,600 meters for private and turboprop aircraft. Along with the two runways, the airport will also feature a seaplane jetty and connections to other parts of the island through rail and new road developments. Once fully completed, the new Bali airport will serve around 85,000 flights and can accommodate 50 million passengers annually. This airport project has been in discussion for over a decade, and while BIBU's plans have been reported, there is no set location and project completion date set. Per Indonesian law, the Indonesian Transport Ministry has yet to finalize the site of the proposed airport project. Though the country's transport regulator did acknowledge that Bali's provincial government submitted a proposal to designate the location for the airport. As for the progress for the site determination and final approval for the project, the Director General of Civil Aviation at Indonesia's Transport Ministry, Enda Purnamarsari, was quoted in a report by the Jakarta Globe on July 5, 2025, saying, quote, "Until now, the proposed North Bali International Airport has no confirmed site, although the Bali provincial government has submitted a request as the initiator of the location determination." Leading up to determination of the final location of the proposed airport, there are other requirements that BIBU, or whoever ends up building the airport project, must meet for construction to get started. These requirements include a feasibility study, review of the master plan, as well as letters of recommendation from the provincial governor and local regions, who are the equivalent of mayors in most other jurisdictions. Purnamarsari further emphasized that the project would have to follow the current regulatory process, saying, quote, "In conclusion, the site determination for the North Bali Airport has not yet been carried out. Whoever will eventually build the airport must follow the regulatory procedures in place." While awaiting the necessary approvals, BIBU's Chief Executive Officer, Erwanto Adiakmoto Haribowo, has stated if the project can secure a permit, construction could start before year's end and the runway could be operational by 2027. The project could then be completed as early as 2030. In 2024, Denpasar Airport served around 24 million passengers, including around 16 million visitors. Since being inaugurated for international air services in the 1960s, Denpasar not only facilitated access to the resort destination, but it has also become the second busiest airport in all of Indonesia behind Jakarta Soekarno-Hatta International Airport. Despite being a single runway facility, there has been upgrade work done, and the airport has demonstrated its capability to handle some of the biggest aircraft in the world, such as the Airbus A380. Now the locals of Bali are facing the question of how to expand the capabilities of its main airport while addressing its limitations, or to proceed with the construction of a new airport, One major factor is the location of Denpasar Airport on a narrow area of land near the popular Kuta Beach and other developments, which limits further additions to the existing passenger terminal facilities. On both sides of the 3,000-meter runway is water, so any extension of the runway will require land reclamation. The new airport project is appealing for residents and officials, especially for those in the northern part of Bali. Through the new airport project, local officials such as Mare Surisa, the village chief of nearby Bulian in Bulalang, sees it, along with the airport city developments, as a much-needed boost to the local economy in the Regency. In a report by Channel News Asia, Surisa said, quote, "We have no youth left in our village because everyone is looking for work in the south or overseas." Further adding, "We hope these projects will boost our economy and create jobs." Another proponent of the North Bali Airport project is Indonesia's President Prabowo Subianto, who has been reported to have given his support for the project. In a report by Kompas published on November 2024, President Prabowo said Bali's future with the airport project could also help the island become similar to Singapore and Hong Kong. While proponents highlight the economic benefits of the new airport project and the need to ease the pressure on Denpasar Airport, some have argued the need to preserve the island's environment and raise the issue of the potential social impact in the area as a consequence of developing the area. Another major point of contention is the lack of adequate transportation for the proposed airport location and other parts of the island. These concerns, along with others about the project, have been raised, including from local officials such as Bali's provincial governor, Wayan Koster. Governor Koster has questioned the funding and the supporting infrastructure for the airport project. While voicing his concerns, he also said he would support the project if it does get approval from the Indonesia's government. In a report by the Bali Sun on July 6th, Governor Koster was quoted saying, "As for the discourse, it has been there for a long time. But if the central government really wants to build, of course, we will follow that policy. But what has not been clear yet is the supporting facilities that are not yet available." PTBB has high ambitions for what could be the second and possibly the future preferred airport for travelers bound for Bali. There is a growing sense of urgency to address the limited space for expansion at Denpasar Airport, while also building a new airport complex with the hopes to extend the economic benefits from the island's tourism industry beyond the southern part of the island. Should Denpasar Airport remain open after the construction of the new Bali Airport is completed, Bali could become another destination in Asia with a dual airport system, a significant milestone for aviation in Bali as well as Indonesia, though there are valid concerns that have been raised from stakeholders. Construction has not started, and PTBB will have to go through the processes as set by Indonesian laws for the work to begin. Another major issue that will need to be addressed for the airport to be successful would be for the further development of transportation options between Denpasar and Bulalang, along with other parts of the island. So, as the locals of Bali debate the future aviation infrastructure developments for the island, visitors from near and far continue to arrive. While waiting for the final decision on whether to proceed with building the North Bali Airport, Denpasar will continue to serve as the main gateway to Bali for the foreseeable future. Should the proposed project for the North Bali International Airport be approved and proceed with construction, I definitely would love to hear your thoughts, especially if you happen to live in or around Bali or travel to and from there frequently. In the meantime, this has been another edition of Flights in Asia, highlighting the news and updates from the aviation and travel scene in the Asia Pacific. Thank you for watching and have a great day.